भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम् कृष्णेति यस्य विदितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतदिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूषया भजतमिक्यमनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्यर्गनिप्सितसङ्गलभ्या दृष्टैः स्वभावजनितैर्वपुश्च दोषैः न प्राकृतत्वमिह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गङ्गाम्बसां न खलु बुद्बुदफेन पङ्कैः ब्रह्माद्रवत्वपगच्छति निरधर्मैः स्यात् कृष्णनामचरितादिसिताप्यविद्या पित्तोपतप्तरसनः किन्त्वादरादनुदिनं खलु सैव जुष्ट्वा स्वाद्विक्रमाद्भवति तद्गतमूलहन्त्री। Narayana chant. Everyone will be chanting. Okay.
वाचो वेगम मनस क्रोध वेगम जिह्वा वेगम उदरोपस्थ वेगम एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेत धीरः सर्वामपि मां पृथिवीं च शिष्यात् अत्याहार प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रहः जनसंघश्च लौल्यं च षड्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति उत्साहान्निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यमाख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम् कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतभिश्च भजन्तमीशम् शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञमनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्यरिदमीप्सितसङ्गलब्ध्या दृष्टैः स्वभावजनैर्वपुषश्च दोषैर्न प्राकृतत्वमिह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गङ्गाम्भसां न खलु बुद्बुदफेन पङ्कैः ब्रह्मद्रवत्वमपगच्छति नीरधर्मैः स्यात् कृष्णनामचरितादिसितापविद्या पित्तोपतप्तरसनस्य न रोचिकानु किन्त्वादरादनुदिनं खलु सैव जुष्टा स्वाद्विक्रमाद्भवति तद्गतमूलहन्त्री। कृष्ण
Mayapur Bihari Mataji, chant all the verses.
Yes, Mataji. वाचो वेगं मनस क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदर उपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेत धीर सर्वामपि मां पृथिवीं सशिष्यात् अत्याहार प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रह जनसंगश्च लौल्यश्च षड्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति उत्साहात् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम् आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विध प्रीतिलक्षणम् कृष्णेति यस्य गिरिं तं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतिभिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूषया शुश्रूषया भजन विद्यमनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्यहृदयमीप्सित सङ्गलब्ध्या दृष्टेः स्वभावजनितैर्वपुषश्च दोषैर्न प्राकृतत्वमिह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गङ्गाम्भसां न खलु बुधफेन पङ्क्यै ब्रह्मद्रवत्वमपगच्छति त्वम् अपगच्छति नीरधर्मे स्यात् कृष्णनामचरितादेशिताप्यविद्या पित्तोपतप्तरसनस्य न रोचिकानो किन्त्वादरादनुदिनं खलु सैव जुष्टा स्वाद्विक्रमाद् भवति तद् तद् एक मिनिट तद्
Okay, now somebody else will chant.
Hmm.
You have not practiced or what? What all are doing then? Every day we are chanting, not able to chant. They should practice, not 10 times. If you practice, it will come. Voice recording is sent. So tomorrow, at least tomorrow morning class will be there. I want you to chant
Yeah,
properly.
for this verse I could not get time.
What is it? I could not get time. I initiated devotee talking like this. I cannot get time. You don't have 5 minutes
Okay, I
also
will
to sit
try,
and chant.
Mataji. स्यात् कृष्णनामचरितादिसीताप्यविद्या पित्तोपतत्तरसनस्य न रोचिकानो किन्त्वादरादनुदिनं खलु सैव जुष्टा स्वाद्विक्रमाद् भवति तत् भवति गदामूलहन्त्री
Tadgata Moolahantri.
तद्गदामूलहन्त्री.
It takes just 1 minute to look and chant. It will take another 1 minute to repeat it. Another 1 minute to again repeat it. 5 minutes, 5 times you can chant. If devotees have no time for the verses, then why attend Bhakti Shastri only? Stop all this. This is all nonsense then, just for getting Bhakti Shastri certificate. If it is only for Bhakti Shastri certificate, we are learning the verses, better don't attend only Bhakti Shastri. Because we don't know how to chant, what is the use then of being a devotee? Srila Prabhupada has emphasized we have so many problems in life. Now, this is one of the greatest problem, that we don't know how to chant the verses. And we don't attempt also how to chant the verses. Okay, 8th verse. You'll see that all the verses are memorized. At 100 times I am saying, even if 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita is not memorized, 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam is not memorized. 11 verses of NOI is very, very important. If we are a Gaudiya Vaishnava, we should know. Or better, don't call ourselves a Gaudiya Vaishnava. If we are a Gaudiya Vaishnava, the Smriti says that we have to somehow memorize 11 verses. If we are not able to memorize, look and read. At least you should know how to look and read also. And if you are taking these instructions very lightly, better stop all Bhakti Shastri. No certificates. If you are not memorizing 11 verses of Bhagavad Gita, NOI, no certificates will be given for anyone, even if you pass out every exam. Now, this rule I am going to tell only. Because if I don't put all these rules, then you all will take it, okay, chal, exam ke liye padhenge bas. Don't do that. Bhakti Shastri is the most dearest project of Srila Prabhupada. He wanted all of us to study because he has taken so much of efforts for us. Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Braje Tadanuragi Janangami Kalam Nayeda Kilamityupadesha Saram. So 8th verse is the essence of nectar of instruction. Like you have the Sar, Gita Sar. What is it, Gita Sar? Who can tell what is Gita Sar? Which is the verse, Gita Sar? You have 3rd chapter you have learned?
Can I?
What is Gita Sar? Yes,
18th chapter, Mataji, 18.65, I think.
Gita Sar is 3rd chapter. That is Charama Shloki. There is Chaturu Shloki. There is Charama Shloki. There is Gita Sar. 3rd chapter, 30th verse. What is the 3rd chapter, 30th verse? Open 3rd chapter, 30th verse. Sudha Mataji, tell me which is the verse. Sudha Mataji will tell. Which is the verse? 3rd chapter, 30th verse.
Mataji, I have to see that because I didn't remember that.
Open na, open. You must be having na something with you, Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Mataji.
Open and tell me. 3rd chapter, 30th verse.
Okay, Okay, Mataji, 1 minute.
When 3rd chapter went, that time this was not told that this is Gita Sar.
No, Mataji.
Open.
Yes, Mataji.
No, Mataji, it was not told.
So not told. Then now we understand this is Gita Sar.
3.38.
3.30th verse is Gita Sar. If somebody asks you what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, you should know this verse.
Yes, Mataji. Dhume navriyate.
3rd chapter, 30th verse.
मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि
Yes,
संन्यास
Mataji. 3.38, na?
38 nahi, 30th.
30. Okay, I got it. Yes. 30. I thought 38.
Read.
Yes, Mataji. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्य ध्यात्मचेतसा निराशी निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः.
So this is the Gita Sar. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya dhyatmachetasah nirashir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigatajvaraha. Krishna says that give up all the propensity of I. Mai sarvani karmani, give everything to me, surrender every work to me. Sanyasya dhyatmachetasah, adhyatmachetasah, that the tendency of I, mine, give it up. Krishna says sannyasa, nirashir, don't have any expectation. Nirashir, nirmamo, don't think that this is the cause is me. Nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vijatajaraha. In this way perform your activity. In the same way now, what is nectar of instruction sara? Because here sara has been given. Updeshamrita. Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu. Tan means he. Tannama rupa charita adi. Adi means what? Etc. 5 aspects are there in Krishna's name. When you say I love Krishna, I should love 5 aspects. His name, his form, his qualities, his leela, his devotees. Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu. Adi here refers to leelas and his devotees. Sukirtananu. So Sukirtana, one has to chant very nicely the 5 aspects of Krishna. Then Anusmrityaha. So Nanu here refers to Anu comes in the Smrityaha. Anusmrityaha. Chant under the instruction of the spiritual master, under the guidance of the spiritual master. Anu means following the footprints. Smrityaho Anusmrityaha kramena rasana manasi niyojya. Rasana, the tongue is now gradually purifying, and in this way manasihi niyojya, so the mind is also engaged in chanting the holy name. Tishthan braje tadanuragi jananugami. Tishthan braje, so that person is eligible to stay in braja, or automatically he is staying in braja because his tongue is engrossed in chanting the holy name of Krishna. Not only holy name, he is chanting the pastimes of Krishna, he is chanting the wonderful qualities of Krishna, he is glorifying the beauty of Krishna. So when we say memorizing the verses, what does it mean? It means glorifying the qualities of Krishna. The verses are actually glorifying Krishna or his devotees, either of one. The verses are glorifying the pastimes of Krishna. So 5 aspects are there in the verses. That is why when you chant the holy name, we have to chant the verses also, because the verses are indirectly glorifying whom? Glorifying Krishna only. So Tishtan Braje Tadanuragi Jananugami. Anugami. Anugami means following the footprints of the acharyas. Kalam nayeda khilamittapadesha saram. Kalam nayeda. Nayeda means utilize. Akhilam. Utilize your time. Don't say I don't have time. Kalam. See here, very clear instruction has been given. Every time should be utilized. We sit in the gadi, isn't it? You know, when I used to memorize the verses, when I used to go for preaching activities, I used to sit in my car and sometimes I used to sit in the bus also, sometimes car, sometimes any vehicle. I used to read one shloka and memorize the shloka. You don't have to have a particular time and sit before the computer or sit before the book. No, you just have to take it. Sometimes, and 108 verses of Bhagavad Gita, I still remember. I just used to carry it. I used to do jhadu also. Side by side jhadu, side by side reading the verses. You just have to take one verse, put it in your computer. What is a computer? Your brain is a computer. See the verse 10 times. You see the word, fit it in your brain computer, and chant. You can chant while taking bath also. You can chant while cooking also. You don't have to have a specific time to sit before the verse. If one line I am seeing, Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu, bas, I have seen only this line. How to memorize the anything? First, look with your eyes. Store it in the eyes of your mind. There is a gross eye to see something. There is a subtle eye to pick up something. Tan, are you able to see tan? You look at the verse now. Maybe many times they ask how to memorize a verse. Look at that line first. Tan nama rupa charitadi sukirtananu. Look into it nicely. Close your eyes. Are you able to see that? Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu. Are you able to see it? If you're not able to see it, again look. This tactics my father taught me. And that is how the memorizing of the verses goes. And loudly you should chant. Tannama. Are you able to see Tannama? Two words. Just go with the two words. Tannama. Okay. Then Rupa Charita. Tannama Rupa Charitadi. Are you able to see that? Okay. Then go ahead. Like that, four words. Pick it up. In a day, you can at least memorize one line of the verse. At least one line. Like that, you can easily memorize all the verses. Mind is not focused. That is a problem. Mind thinks a lot. Mind goes haywire. Let the mind be like a child. Tukaram Maharaj says, Lahanpani dega deva. That means what? Let us be always a child. We think all type of nonsense. Everything happens according to its own accord. We don't have to think so much. Just have to see that we are in a great difficulty. What is that? We are not able to memorize the verses. There is a greatest difficulty a devotee is having in this life. There is no other difficulty beyond this. Other all difficulties are common to anybody. Common to a materialistic person also, common to a dog also, cat also. For a devotee, what is the biggest difficulty? The biggest difficulty is I am not able to wake up early in the morning. The greatest difficulty is I am not able to chant 16 rounds properly. Even if I am doing all those things properly also, I am not able to recite the verses. So these are all the greatest difficulty for a devotee. Apart from this, any difficulty is that he is not a devotee. If he is having these difficulties, then at least he can be called as a devotee. Because he is understanding I am having these difficulties. Apart from this, any difficulty is there, then he should not call himself a devotee. Simple. So now, how to get rid of this difficulty? So we'll try. How we should try out? Eat early. We should finish off your meal before sunset so that digestion happens. You can sleep early and wake up early. And somebody can say, Mataji, don't take everyday class so that we can sleep by 8 o'clock. Not necessary, 9 o'clock also you can sleep. My Narayana only will say. Anyhow, Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrtyo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyocha Tishtan Brajeta Dunuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayeda Kilamityupadesha Saram. So this is the Saram, essence of the whole nectar of instruction. So Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami wants all of us to utilize our time to the fullest. See what is given here. The essence of all the advice is, so much advice, 11 advice has been given. But essence of all of the advice is what? One should utilize one's full time. 24 hours. Not just 1 or 2 hours. 24 hours. To nicely chant, remember Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Vraja, Golok Vrindavan Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. See here, this is again very important. Go to Vrindavan Dham, but again serve under the guidance, not just I'll go and stay. If you go and say tomorrow, you will find some fault with the Vrajavasis and you'll be thrown out by Radharani. Vrajadham is not staying in Vrajadham. Vrajadhamavasa is not so easy. That is why it has been recommended. You should go under the guidance again of the devotee. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. Okay, Vandana Mataji, read the purport. First read this verse. Read the verse. Yourself will read, then Kamalakshi Mataji will read, then Dayasagar Prabhuji will read, Mayapur Vasini will read, then Narayana and Jumur will read. All of you read, then you chant the purport. Read the purport. Chant the verse.
Hare Krishna.
Slowly do.
Tat nama rupa charitadi sukirtananu smrityo karmena rasna manasi niyojaya tishthan brije tad anuragi jananugami kalam
Tadanuragi nahi. Tadanuragi.
anuragi
Tad it is, na? Half the. So tadanuragi.
tad anuragi tishthan brije tad
Tadanuragi nahi. Tadanuragi. Tadanuragi.
tad anuragi
Tadanuragi.
tadanuragi Tadanuragi jananugami kalam nayad akhilam iti upadesha saram.
Kalam nayedakhilam. When you are saying the, na, you have put that A there. Kalam nayeda. So that A, you have to scratch it here. Kalam nayedakhilam.
Kalam nayad akhilam itu.
Nayeda, already you have put A in that. Again you are saying akhilam. Take that A of akhilam to the DA. Kalam nayedakhilam. What is left? Khilam is left, na?
Kalam nayad khilam iti upadesha saram.
It should be continuous. Kalam nayedakhilam.
Kalam nayad akhilam iti upadesha saram.
Next, whom I told?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare.
Hare Krishna. Tannamarupa saritadi sugirtananu smrutye kramena rasana manasini smrutyo
Kramena
rasana manasi niyojya
rasana
manasi niyojya Tistan brajeta danuragi jananukami kalam naye kagilam idi ubadesha saram.
Next. Who was next? Dayasagar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Tannama rupa charitadi sakirtananu smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojam tishtam brajetad anuragi tadanuragi jananugami kalam nayedakilam it upadesha saram.
Very good. Next.
Me. तन्नामरूपचरितादिषु कीर्तनानु स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी कालं नयेद् अखिलमिति उपदेशसारम्
Kalam nayedakhilam. Try to chant together.
कालं
Kalam nayedakhilam. See the
सन्धि
Devanagari font.
कालं नयेदखिलं
Dakhilam
वित्युपदेशसारं तन्नामरूपचरितादिषु कीर्तनानु स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलमित्युपदेशसारम्
Very good. Mayapur Vasuni. Yari.
तन्नामरूपचरितादिषु कीर्तनानु स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागिजनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलम् इति उपदेशसारम्.
Krishna Priya Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji, today I cannot read because I'm in the bus. I'm traveling.
Okay, Vishwambar Prabhu.
Thank you.
Then Sudha Mataji, then Jumur. Vishwambar Prabhu. Okay, Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I'm just going to home, Mataji, from office.
Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. तन्नाम रूप चरितादिषु कीर्तनानु स्मर्तव्यो क्रमेण
Smrityo.
स्मर्त्यो क्रमेण
Smritavyo, we are telling Smrityo. Smrityo.
स्मृत्यो
Ah.
स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलम् इति उपदेशसारम्.
Very good. Jumur.
तन्नामरूपचरितादिषु कीर्तनानु स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागजनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलमित्युपदेशसारम्.
Very good. Okay. Now read Purport, Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Translation. The essence of all advices is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastime. Therefore, gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Braj, Golok Vrindavan Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. Purport. Since the mind may be one's enemy or one's friend, one has to train the mind to become his friend. The Krishna conscious movement is specially meant for training the mind to be always engaged in Krishna's business. The mind contains hundreds and thousands of impressions, not only of this life, but also of many lives, many lives of past. These impressions sometimes come in contact with one another and produce contradictory pictures. In this way, the mind's function can be dangerous for a conditioned soul. Students of psychology are aware of the mind's various psychological changes. In Bhagavad Gita 8.6 is said, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajyante kalevaram tam tam eveti konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one member, when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. At the time of death, the mind and the intelligence of a living entity creates the subtle form of a certain type of body for the next life. If the mind suddenly thinks of something not very conjugal, one has to take a corresponding birth in the next life. On the other hand, if one can think of Krishna at the time of death, he can be transferred to spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. This process of transmigration is very subtle. Therefore, Sri Rupa Goswami advises devotees to train their minds in the order that they will be unable to remember anything other than Krishna. Similarly, the tongue should be trained to speak only of Krishna and to taste only Krishna Prasada. Sri Rupa Goswami further advises, Tishthan Vraje. One should live in Vrindavan or any part of Rajbhumi. Rajbhumi or land of Vrindavan is supposed to be 84 krosa in area. 1 krosha equals to 2 square miles. When one makes Vrindavan his residence, he should take shelter of one advanced devotee there. In this way, one should always think of Krishna and his pastimes. This is further. This is
so here. The tongue should be trained in chanting the holy name, and then automatically the mind is absorbed in Krishna. Slowly, slowly, when the or other way around, mind is absorbed in Krishna, then tongue will easily chant the holy name of Krishna. The senses will be employed in Krishna's service. That itself is Vrajavas. What is the meaning of Vrajavas? Not that you pack the bag and go to Vrindavan and then do all materialistic activity there. Vrajavas means in any corner of the world, you're completely thinking of Krishna. Krishna is present with you. Krishna is present in your heart. So one is, okay, practically going and staying in Vrindavan Dham. But there, very clearly it has been given that one has to be under the guidance of an advanced devotee, or else if we are engaged in any of the materialistic activity, we will be only crushed in devotional service, because Vrindavan Dham is a very powerful Dham. In Mayapur, which is Audarya Dham, even if you go and lie down, it will be considered as Dandavat Pranam. So that is Audarya Dham. Even if you do mistakes, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Audarya Swarupaha, is the most compassionate form of Krishna. So now Krishna himself appears in a compassionate mood to forgive everyone. But Vrindavan Dham is the place of austerity. There you cannot go and do some materialistic activity there. It's a pure place of austerity. So that is why it is said one has to go there also with the care of a devotee, and then be there also under the care of an advanced devotee, so that we will be absorbing, always thinking of Krishna and his pastimes. Okay. Narayana, read from here. Unmute.
This is further elucidated by Sri Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Shastri Studies 1.2.294. Krishnam smaranam janam chasya preshtham nijasami hitam tat katharatas chasau kuryad vasam vraje sada. A devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm of Raja and always engage in Krishnam Smaranam Janam Chasya Preshtham, the remembrance of Sri Krishna and his beloved associates. By allowing
his beloved associates, Preshtham.
By following in the footsteps of such associates and by entering under their eternal guidance, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Again, Sri Rupa Goswami states in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.295, Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tadbhava lipsuna karya vrajalokanu saratha. In the transcendental realm of Vrajadhama, one should serve the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna with a feeling similar to that of his associates, and one should place himself under the direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna and follow in his footsteps. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana, spiritual practices executed while in the stage of bondage, and in the stage of sadhya, God realization, when one is a siddha purusha or a spiritually perfect soul.
Okay, stop it. So in both the stages, as a sadhaka or in the Siddha Swarupa. Siddha Swarupa means now he is in the Prema Avastha. In the Prema Avastha, one can realize his Siddha Swarupa. What is he in the spiritual world? So in this way, his relationship with the Lord. So in both the cases, this rule applies that whenever we want to stay in Vrindavan, we have to stay under the guidance of a pure devotee and just chant the holy name of Krishna, serve the devotees, serve Krishna, serve his devotees. That should be the only business in Vrindavan. There should not be any other business in Vrindavan. If a person is going for doing some personal business in Vrindavan or some materialistic business in Vrindavan, then actually he is not relishing or is not getting the full opportunity of being in Vrindavan Dham. In Vrindavan also, if you see now, if you go to Vrindavan, any of you are going to Vrindavan now, 7th, we are going to go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan, if you go and see, there are so many hoteliers there. There are so many chat people over there. Chat masala, that is, and so many, all types of people are there. People go also for, they go for Baki Bihari Darshan and then come out for having chat. So the consciousness is in chat, just imagine what to do. So when we go to Vrindavan, if our consciousness is in this, then we have various other facilities also providing our these types of desire. But then we cannot really relish Vrindavan. Vrindavan is actually the place for Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, and those who are having such type of consciousness. So that is actually the place of Vrindavan, where one can relish the pastimes. Why Krishna will reveal himself to those who are interested in materialistic life? People go. In Kartik, you see flocks of people go there, devotees go there. Chalo Kartik mahina वहाँ रहेंगे. But then afterwards, after doing some parikrama, again we are back to the materialistic activity. So shopping, this and that, so many materialistic activity goes. And we have Loya Bazaar also, full-fledged market, which will provide all types of variety things there. But okay, like there are serious students coming to the school to study. There are kids also coming to the school. What they do, they don't sit before the book. They'll play here and there. The teacher has to run behind them. So Krishna then what he sees, okay, these are small children who have come. Then he forgives them. But then making it a habit is not good. It's not good making it a habit, going to Vrindavan and doing some nonsensical activities over there. 1 or 2 times Krishna will forgive, but not that always. That is why Vrindavan is to be carefully handled. Vrindavan Dham has to be carefully handled. The best way to handle Vrindavan Dham is chant the holy name of Krishna as much as possible. Okay, Jumu, read from here.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has commented as follows upon this verse. One who has not yet developed interest in Krishna consciousness should give up all material motives and train his mind by following the progressive regulative principle, namely chanting and remembering Krishna and his name, form, quality, pastimes, and so forth. In this way, after developing a taste for such things, one should try to live in Vrindavan and pass his time constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, and qualities under the direction and protection of an expert devotee. This is the sum and substance of all instructions regarding the cultivation of devotional service. In the neophyte stage, one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. This is called Shravana Dasha, the stage of hearing. By constantly hearing the transcendental holy name of Krishna and hearing of his transcendental form, qualities, and pastimes, one can attain to the stage of acceptance called Varana Dasha. When one attains this stage, he becomes attached to the hearing of Krishna Katha. When one is able to chant in ecstasy, he attains the stage of Smaranavastha, the stage of remembering, recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, and trance are the 5 items of progressive Krishna Smaran.
Okay, wait. So in neophyte stage, one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha, Shravanam. Then when you constantly hear, what will happen? That becomes
Varana Dasha.
Varana Dasha. Varana Dasha. That means you're accepting it. Varana. Accepting it. Then when you start accepting it, you become attached. That is which Dasha? Smarana. Smarana Avastha. Smarana Avastha. You become so attached, you cannot forget. So Shravana, Varana and Smarana. Shravana, then absorb, then you are taking it, recollection, absorption, then meditation, that is constant remembrance and trance. So in English, it has been elaborated. So 5 stages. But if you see in Sanskrit, it is Shravana Dasha, Varana Dasha and Smarana Dasha. Okay.
At first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted at intervals, but later remembrance proceeds uninterrupted. When remembrance is uninterrupted, it becomes concentrated and is called meditation. When meditation expands and becomes constant, it is called anusmriti. By uninterrupted and unceasing anusmriti, one enters the stage of samadhi or spiritual trance. After smarana dasha or samadhi has fully developed, the soul comes to understand his original constitutional position. At that time, he can perfectly and clearly understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. This is called
Sampatti.
Sampatti Dasha, the
Okay.
perfection
Now,
of life.
5 things has been given here into 6 aspects. Now just see: recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, trance. Now let us see recollection, the stage of remembering, recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, trance. 6 are there also. By 5 is given. It is actually 6 there. 1, yeah. The stage of remembering. What is that stage of remembering? Shravana. Recollection, you can do Varana. Absorption, you can do Smarana, Smarana Dasha. Constant remembrance, you can go, but there again meditation has been given, which is known as Anusmriti. Then that Anusmriti is given to be Anusmriti, then that goes to Sampatti Dasha. So you have to put that into the whole into Sanskrit. First you put all the words in Sanskrit, then try to match it with an English word. Anusmriti Dasha in this way. Any of this technical thing, let us take it in an easy way now. Shravana, the more we hear, then we become absorbed. We start accepting it. That is Varana Dasha. When you start accepting certain thing, then you go on remembering that thing. That is known as Smarana. When you go on remembering, and that remembrance is now happening without any interruption. That is known as meditation, Anusmriti. Now same Smarana became Anusmriti. Anusmriti because you are following the footprints of the Acharyas who meditate continuously without any interruption. That is why Anu has been added. Smarana has become Anusmriti. Now same Anusmriti without interruption, when you are going on doing it, then that becomes Samadhi. That is a stage of Samadhi. Samyak adhyate asmin atma tattva yathatmayam. Samadhi. Complete absorption is Samadhi. And that Samadhi gives a perfection in understanding our relationship with Krishna. And that is known as Sampatti. Sampatti means now you are having that dhana, where you are able to remember the relationship with Krishna. So in English, you don't have those words. You have only absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, trance. Trance is Samadhi, but what is about the Sampatti Dasha that has not been spoken very clearly. So English is having 5, though it is giving 6 there, but still it has been given 5 items of progressive Krishna Smarana. But if you see in Sanskrit, it has been given very nicely. First is Shravana, then is Varana, then is Smarana, then is Anusmriti, then is Samadhi, and then is Sampatti. 6 aspects. Okay? Okay. Gadadhar Prabhu, read from here.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandat Nam to you. Chaitanya Charitamrita advises those who are neophytes to give up all kinds of motivated desires and simply engage in the regulative devotional service of Lord according to the directions of scripture. In this way, a neophyte can gradually develop attachment to Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, and so forth. When one has developed such attachment, he can spontaneously serve the lotus feet of Krishna even without following the regulative principles. This stage is called Raga Bhakti, or devotional service in spontaneous love. At the stage of devotee can follow in the footsteps of one of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavana. This is called Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti, or spontaneous devotional service, can be executed in the Santarasa when one aspires to be like Krishna's cows or the stick or flute in the hand of Krishna, or the flowers around Krishna's neck. In the Dasya Rasa, one follows in the footsteps of servants like Chitraka, Patraka, or Raktaka. In the friendly Sakya Rasa, one can become a friend like Baladeva, Sridama, Sudama. In the Vatsalya Rasa, characterized by parental affection, one can become like Nanda Maharaja and Yashoda. And in the Madhurya Rasa, characterized by conjugal love, one can become like Srimati Radharani or her lady friends such as Lalita, and her serving maids, Manjaris, like Rupa and Rati. This is the essence of all instruction in the matter of devotional service.
So when that attachment deeply increases, that leads to prema. The stage becomes prema. What is bhava? What is prema? When the stage starts from ruchi, asakti, like yesterday we discussed, shraddha, that led to sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha. These are the 5 stages which a sadhaka can try out. When he is trying out hardly and reaches to the stage of nishtha, Krishna's anugraha starts. That is how the attachments develops. Ruchi. Ruchi means taste. The taste develops. Asakti. Attachment develops. This attachment becomes deeper than it is bhava. Becomes deepest than it is prema. In that prema avastha, no rules and regulations bind that person. You cannot just go and tell him, please chant 16 rounds japa. Where he has forgotten. A person who is completely chanting, completely absorbed in Krishna, for him there is no rules and regulations. Rules and regulations are only for the sadhakas. At the prema avastha, he is automatically doing. Like one keeps an alarm clock for waking up. But at a prema avastha, he doesn't get sleep only. He's always awake. He just wants to serve Krishna. He's just waiting for the morning to come. So we should understand. If you go and tell some residents of Radhakund who is absorbed in chanting the holy name, are you chanting 16 rounds? He will look at you. He'll say, what 16 rounds? Whole day I'm sitting and chanting the holy name of Krishna. So rules and regulations only apply to sadhakas. At the prema avastha, at the avastha where he has so much of love, where in the Shantarasa, suppose he has the love in Shantarasa, he considers himself to be the flute of Krishna. If he is in the Dasya Rasa, he considers himself to be the servant of Krishna. So in this way, his love is so much. And why it became so much? Because he is chanting very nicely. That is why one can revive his Siddhavastha. We all have Siddhadeha. That means the body in the spiritual world. But we have forgotten that spiritual body. And to remember that spiritual body, we have to chant very nicely. Without chanting, we cannot understand who we are in the spiritual world. You see, sometimes Just by seeing the activity of that person, you can understand, oh, he is having a Vatsalya rasa. Or he has that Sakhya rasa or Vatsalya rasa or Madhurya rasa. Just by seeing the activity. Why? Because that absorption is there. All the time, remembrance of Krishna is there. And it can happen to anyone. It is not necessary that you have to be an advanced devotee for that. It can happen at any stage. And sometimes it may look like a abhasa, like small children. They continuously chant the holy name. They continuously play the leelas of Lord. So it seems to be the abhasa. Yes, he is so much absorbed, like Lalita Sakhi or Vishaka Sakhi. But then that abhasa can become true. How? When you go on nourishing that abhasa. When you nourish that particular consciousness of small children, then that nourishment will give perfection to the children. And what is that perfection? That complete absorption in Krishna's name. That is more important. Complete absorption in Krishna's name. So when a person is grown up, he is chanting, he should chant more sincerely, more nicely, and become attached to the, absorb it, take it. Chanting is Shravanam. Then taking it, that is Varanam, taking it. And then remembering it, Smaranam. Then constantly remembering it, Anusmrityaha. Then slowly, completely meditating upon it, that is Samadhi. And becoming perfect in realizing our position, and that is known as Sampatti stage. This has been given. So this verse is the essence of the whole nectar of instruction. Upadesha Saram. The 24 hours, one should completely absorb himself in Krishna. Okay. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Mataji, I want to ask how to be aware about Krishna during sleep. It is said that sleep is an ignorant state. So how should we aware about Krishna during in sleeping, or how do we aware about Krishna in 24 hours, Mataji? That's what I want to ask.
If you chant nicely, even in dream also you will see Krishna. You will work for him.
Okay, Mataji.
The sleep is also for him only. The sleep is small rest for the body. Any other doubt?
No, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Nainu Manjari is prepared with something. Nainu's absorption in Krishna. She calls herself Lalita Sakhi. I am Lalita Sakhi. Tell. What you want?
Vaishnava Thakura, Toya Sagara, Edase Karuna Kuri. Oi Vaishnava Thakura, Toya Sagara, Edase Karuna Kuri. Diya Padachaya, Shudave Amaya, Diya Padachaya, Shudave Amaya. Dwaracharan Tori, Dwaracharan Tori, Oi Vaishnava Thakura, Vara Sagara, Idati Karuna Tori.
Hari Bol, Tata was seeing. That was she felt shy. Manchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Namo Namah.